and they don't even have that done. But tell us a little bit what it's like for you being a high school student and being in your English classes. We'll talk about that a little bit. Like, what high school did you go to?
Duluth High School. I read, the standard, like I read the monsters and Old Man and the Sea, and middle school. In college, really remember the honors.
One of the things that you've answered in other interviews that I wanted to point out is we write a lot in my class, and they've done some writing. In my other class, they write a lot. And that's probably the biggest challenge my students have is getting them to pick up that pen and write even just a proper paragraph. Did you enjoy writing when you were in high school?
Oh, yeah. If there's a writing day, I loved it. I loved learning about the craft. I took this is when I was college, I took a creative writing class in college, and it was my favorite class. Unfortunately, we didn't spend as much time as I wanted on novels, which is mostly fiction. But yeah, I loved it, and I love, like I said, learning about plot and character development, and how to structure a novel, learning about the 3 acts of a novel. Like there's 3 acts of a play, well no, 2 acts of a play, but there's 3 acts in a novel.
What are they? I don't know what they are.
Yeah. Let's see if I can remember. This one is pretty good. There's hook, trigger, backstory, crisis, epiphany, and it's just this journey that the characters go through, and the different emotions that they go through, what they're thinking, oh, I can do this, I can go and talk and to other people.
We'll be doing that thing, showing the change of a character, the things that you're just talking about. I do it with a movie because it's easier to get through a long novel.
Yeah.
But class, y'all will have a chart where you're charting that every step the character has an event that causes a change, an event that causes a change. So that's what she's talking about when she's developing the novel, the levels of what are going to cause the change in the character development. So we'll be doing that soon.
And it is harder than it looks.
Also, very soon, class, you are going to have to write a narrative. Okay, narrative is one of your vocabulary words. What's a narrative? Give me the definition of a narrative. What's a narrative?
An expository writing. You write down in one
Okay,
paragraph.
that's way too hard. 2 words. Friday when we were doing terminology, we had narrative poetry. What's narrative poetry? I'm lost. I'm quitting. Turning in my notice.
Gabby's distracting herself.
Okay, a narrative, a story. I want everybody to just put that in your head right now.
Second person.
Stop. A narrative is a story. Same word. Narrative is a story. Okay. That's what I wanted from y'all.
Writing stories?
What's a narrative poem?
Oh.
A poem that tells a story. There we go. That's what we talked about. Okay, so regroup it back in. The reason I'm talking about, you will be writing a narrative. So what are you going to be writing?
Story.
Story. You're going to be writing a narrative that you come up with the characters, you build the plot, and it's always a story of revenge. Your character has been wronged, your character goes through a plot to get the revenge, to carry out the revenge. Oh, let's see, Danny wrote one of those. Yes, he did. And it was very... Huh?
No, I can't.
I'm sorry, Judy, what did you say? Okay, so this is good information you're getting from her because when I assign this, y'all struggle so much with it. Rebecca used a lot of the character has her traits in it. Remember this now, huh? The story doesn't have to be you, it can be another character. Many of my students are like, well, I've never had to get revenge on anybody. You don't have to have lived it to be the character, right? So I want y'all to think, very soon you're going to have to write a story for me, build your character, build the plot, and the biggest challenge that I find that students have is the ending. Is that hard? Rebecca, is that hard when you're coming to the ending?
Yes, I rewrote the ending to Detective Mind like 5 times. Because, and the reason I'm writing people is because I couldn't wrap it up in a way that didn't seem rushed and, I wanted to continue the story, but I didn't want the book to be 1,000 pages long. So, yeah, the ending was tough, and I finally decided, okay, well, I'm just going to end it on a cliffhanger and continue the story in the sequel, because I can't do it in a way that's satisfactory for me or for my readers. And I mean, not all books have cliffhangers, so, at some point I will write a book that will have an ending and that will be the end of it. But for Detective Mind, I couldn't find that definite ending.
And that's what I find students, they get to the climax, they get to that, but then they don't have that falling action, the resolution. Even if you have a cliffhanger, you still don't have a resolution. What is the name of the sequel?
Into Mind.
Coming up soon.
Okay, I'm going to have her, like the two of y'all have read the beginning. Danny probably asked that day. But I do want her to read, it's a treat, it's a huge, huge, huge treat, and to have the author read her own book. So this is a big treat for y'all. She's just going to read the first chapter to kind of the introduction to her book. So I want you to listen quietly for that, and then I'll have time if you think of some more questions you want to ask her, because you're going to be thinking of those questions and you're not on your phone. Those of you with your heads down listening to them. Okay, the words are going to be up here on the screen. You can follow along. Oh, okay, we have time for a question, yes? Danny, what's the question?
Man, you don't ask me.
How much, okay.
How much money did she?
She's not,
Yeah, we don't discuss.
okay, no. Danny, okay, we can ask that in a better way.
How much revenue do you get from your book?
You can think of the best way to answer that that's not so intrusive.
Well, that was a silly question. I was just trying to restate it smarter.
What kind of profit are you, okay, well, and that's a valid question. What kind of profit could be made with something like this? Is that a better way to answer that?
I'm not really good at that.
Ask her to copy and paste that. Or not copy.
I'm not really,
her because
Yeah.
she does not have all these other expertise, and so she's paid a one-time fee for the cover, she's paid a one-time fee for the editing, but other than that, everything's split with the producer and her.
And I did all freelance, like my editor was freelance and my other artist was freelance, meaning that they didn't work for a big company, they worked for themselves.
You should look at it, you kind of need big stuff to do that, like the sign, the time and all that.
I just haven't had a book signing yet, and this is actually my first,
Yeah.
publishing
Do you
thing.
plan on having one?
Yeah, I plan on having it eventually.
Got a bargain book.
Yeah, it's very hard to get it signed.
And because she's self-published,
Get sorted, she'll do her first one.
My first
That's, remember she said she'd normally hire an agent, and while there might be the money that you have to pay the agent and all that, the agent would be working all that, so she's made that decision that this is the route she's going.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that.
You did it right at the beginning, yeah. And, so, but that is a valid question, Danny, because obviously she writes for the love of it, and that's what most authors do, but also the end result is to get the bank.
And the marketing side of it, like, the branding and marketing, that is something that I'm still working on. There's some things that authors are good at, and, they're not. I'm not good at the marketing side of it. I'm really writing engine, but I'm not good at the marketing, so that's the only challenge to self-publishing is that I have to do that all myself. It's hard. And right now I'm kind of taking a step back from that so that I can get another book out there. It's very hard to get, when you have one book, it's really hard to get it out there. Authors that have more than one book, they do a lot more. Why that is, but that's just, so when I get the sequel out, when I get the third book out, and the fourth book out, it'll be really good. Right now, it's rough.
We've got just a few minutes, so if we could, I want y'all to get just a taste of what's going on. So if y'all follow along, I've got it on the screen.
Ready? Chapter 1. Union City, Georgia. Imagine never opening a textbook or sitting at a desk. Imagine having an introduction year in school in Kansas City without working a single. So this is yesterday in Kansas and reality. The words very clear and made instant memory start to happen. No helmet, no tech, just sitting at the train and in the train corner. New York. That's the whole world. Maybe it's magic after all. And by chance there was a mirror glass screen. He snatched it up and found a unit. He touched the screen and the mirror said, basically, good evening, Danny. And please hear me out by saying, advance my name. The competition has a second application. Danny came up the mirror and took in her wall-to-wall bookstore. In less than an hour, she gathered a case and as many books as she wrote. Today she wasn't willing to all new bookstores, and they looked at something new to great information coming to her desk. Not everyone did, and took out one of their books and recall every single word of information in every page. She slowly moved to her chair and looked halfway to the closet and took study more open. Her older sister stayed waiting in the room. Already dressed in a light coat t-shirt, a fresh out across her waist. She pinned her long, straight red hair in a bun. What stood out most was the red lipstick. Most of her, I guess, was her white. Jane bit at her laugh. It was like her controlling the monitor. She was telling her what I was thinking. Perfectly put together. What? She puffed her head to the side, felt working at me like that, and good and super bad. He said I should turn to the top. And it was only when the scientists like this are like, some places say that there is autism so bad. And I don't see them. Because I look at him along with the little sucker. I have no idea what's in there. There's a promise that really good on the first time I look at like her older sister just said, the feeling is important.
And we're gonna have to stop because the class is over, and y'all are, it's gone by fast, hasn't it?
Yeah.
A lot faster than when I'm teaching.